what's a situation where you're gonna need that diaper, right? Maybe your kid just had a big blowout and he's dripping poop, and the poop is on your arm, and you need to make sure you get those wipes out quickly. So where are you gonna keep those wipes, right? A quick access pocket, maybe. So
Hello, everyone. Man, I'm rusty. How do I start? We are back with the podcast. This has been, or is the first episode since almost 6-month hiatus. And I'm so happy to have my very first guest be a returning guest. It's Ron from Live or Living Purpose.
Live with Purpose. Live with Purpose. Or Ron Kwok YouTube, whatever you want to say.
And I just checked. We haven't, the last time we talked, it was March 2023. So it has been quite a long time. And I know, and I assume, and I speculate that there has been a lot of changes with your life, with YouTube and content creation. So I know everything that there was, but maybe for everyone new and also for me, update us. Who are you? What has been going on? I know who you are. But
for sure, Bo. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me back on your podcast. It's been an honor to be on the last time and really cool to be on again. But for me, man, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ron. I host a YouTube channel. And I mainly craft content on EDC, gear reviews, and I help people find the best version of what they're looking for through my videos, through my perspective. And it's been 2+ years since we last talked, and a lot of YouTube changes, a lot of life changes. I'm still creating content as much as I can. Currently, I'm doing a big sprint challenge where, I'm trying to increase my output just to kind of like break out of taking a pause from life changes and getting back into it. Since we last spoke, I have another kid. So I have 2 kids now. I have a 4-year-old girl, 2-year-old boy. And needless to say, my hands are really full. As we speak, as you know, Bo's based out of Germany, and I'm in the United States on the West Coast. And it's 5 a.m. right now, but it's the only time I can really kind of break out and do my own thing before the kids wake up. So a lot of changes for sure.
Everyone, I would say that at least that is a like for Ron waking up this early, and at least going over to his channel and clicking subscribe for him waking up this early to be in this talk. I've seen, not only are you going into a sprint, but also I love this interview style EDC video that you did.
Oh, you like that?
2 weeks ago, I think. That was amazing, because I felt like it's always interesting to watch like EDC videos, but then have it like in this Netflix, Amazon interview style was really refreshing and kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It was really entertaining. And it was cool. It's a cool idea.
Thanks, man. No, it was really fun to make. I mean, I think we have to thank, you mentioned Netflix style interview. I think we have to thank like the technology and the day and age we live in, because they're making an entire series with a Sony FX3 these days. So it's not hard for us to kind of emulate that style as long as we have sort of the fundamentals down, right? The lighting, the focal length, positioning the light over here and having the camera over here, that type of thing. But more importantly, it was really fun for me to get creative and try a new format, just because if you Google everyday carry on YouTube, it's a lot more saturated now with creators than it was 2 years ago, right? There's a lot more people in the EDC game than when we last spoke. So I think it's important to remember that it's a creative process. And for us, like, that's why we do what we do, because we enjoy being creative and like seeing how we can tell the same story in a different way. And that podcast style interview, like kind of the visuals we're having right now, it's just one of the ways I was just like, you know what, let's change it up. Let's not always talk into the camera. Let's make it a different format and see how the community reacts to it.
Before we go into the topics that everyone kind of wants to listen to, like everyday carry and stuff like that, and I learned that you have to kind of keep people a little bit on the edge of their seats. Let's push that a little bit to the back. I know every one of you wants to listen to that, but let's start with something that interests me. Like, because you just talked about the camera and the gear, are you still so am I assuming correctly? You're still using Sony stuff?
Yes, yeah. I'm still I don't know. For some reason I just love the Sony ecosystem. Maybe it's just like the user interface or
FX3, right? Or 30.
I wish I was using the FX3. No, I'm using the A7C. It's like a
but that's
entry
great too.
camera.
Nah,
yeah, for sure.
That's an entry. That's really cool. I mean, it's just a different body, right? Okay,
Sure.
it doesn't have an internal fan like
No.
the FX3, but it's the same sensor, right?
Yeah, it's full frame.
Yeah.
You know, I can shoot, 4K 24, HD 120, and it's full frame. That's the biggest part. So I have that flexibility. I'm using a 50 millimeter right now, but I can punch in if I need to.
Yeah.
And it's been really sort of like my main workhorse. I've been using it since pretty much the second year of YouTube. Like the first year I had like an old camera I was using, but decided to invest in the A7C, and that was it.
It shows. I mean, I felt like you always had really good image quality, but over the last few years, you stepped up. And considering that you didn't upgrade your camera and the gear, it shows that your skill level was already at a high level, but it has improved quite a lot also.
Yeah.
And also
that's really endearing to hear. That's great.
Yeah, especially with the subtitles. I mean, you're rolling with basically the zeitgeist. Like everyone's doing subtitles because everyone knows on Instagram most people don't switch on sound. So you integrated that as well. So it definitely shows that you are stepping up the games. What is you predominantly film only at home, right?
Yeah, mainly at home. I have a separate room dedicated to sort of my home office studio where I have my lighting, my gear, and my C-stands and whatnot. So everything is sort of around here, easy to access.
But are you considering kind of doing stuff outside as well?
I do. I mean, if you look into my past videos, there's been various stints where I do vlog, step out, and do different things. I think it's just right now in sort of like the season of life I'm in, filming in the studio is the easiest thing for me. And just, it's accessible. And here I have control over everything in terms of lighting, in terms of like angles and stuff. Especially with kids these days, it's difficult for me to just kind of step out and vlog. And, I think like that time management component of, being a content creator is really huge. Like it's crucial, like if you miss a day, it's like, oh, okay, I don't have a window to create content. I have to start again tomorrow. And with kids, you got to take advantage of every minute you can get.
Yeah. That's actually a good segue to now probably what people would like to hear. What's your current EDC, and especially considering now that you have become, when we talked 2 years ago, you already have been a dad, but now you have 2 kids, right? So did your EDC, and I imagine you kind of like juggling around those 2 kids in both hands like this, and you're having no free hands. I assume there has been a lot of change in how you approach everyday carry and how you carry it, because I also assume that having maybe like how you call those bags where you have the baby in front, the baby carrier.
Yeah, baby carriers. Yeah.
I assume you don't carry a sling bag, but maybe you have a hip belt now or something, or talk us through.
Yeah, absolutely. So, having 2 kids. So right now, I'll preface by saying that I don't use a baby carrier anymore because my kids are 2 and 4. Baby carriers are for the very sort of like a beginning part of that journey where it's like 0 to 6 months, 0 to 9 months, where like they can't walk, they're not doing anything. You just kind of have to have them with you. And so it's either having them strapped onto you as a baby carrier, or you're holding like the bassinet or something, or the baby carrier in your hand. So for that, of course, like my EDC was very compromised. Like it was very full up here. And so that was difficult. But these days, you're right. My hands are definitely full all the time, whether it's like wrangling one kid or holding something in the other hand. So very hands-free. I primarily rock a sling now. And so my sling, and I usually keep it front-slung, because whether I'm driving or whether I have like the diaper bag on my bag, it's always front-slung, because I can't backsling it because of the backpack. And for the sling itself, it's usually like down to my essential core EDC, I usually rock like a 1.2 liter or less sling, just because like I have so many kind of components flying around that I don't want to have a big bulky front as well.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, for sure. Key essentials, my wallet. Currently use the Reform Carry. Oh no, I'm using the Reform Carry card holder. So it's a magnetic sort of minimal style wallet where it holds 6 to 8 cards. And the most crazy feature about it is that it's magnetic clasp, so you don't have to worry about like pressing buttons or having it fold out. You just very satisfying click. And then for my keys, I have keyless entry in my house, and so I just carry my car keys. And with that, as a dad, the most crucial piece of carry for my keys is an AirTag, because my kids,
sure.
you know, I feel like they're gonna be EDC heads because like they always go into my bag and pull things out, especially my little boy. He's always like, "What's this?" and he like plays with the tools and all that. No knife, so I'm not worried about him.
I was just about to ask that. I assumed that you got rid of any multi-tool knife.
Yes, yeah. So I do have a multi-tool, but no knife in it. It's the Leatherman PS style, and so it's a very small, you know, a couple tools, scissors.
Was just about to say it has scissors, right?
It's so hard to pull out for a toddler that it's not like, you know, it doesn't spring open or anything like that. So I'm not worried about that. But yeah, my kids, they'll pull out my tools and play around with it and then put it on the couch or something. So having AirTag on my keys, especially, you know, you need your car whenever you're going out. Super important for me to be able to locate that. And then aside from that, like I mentioned, the multi-tool, I've really gotten into pens lately. So I've been using a fountain pen, the Big Idea Designs
really
fountain pen. Yeah.
Well, hold on. With your kids.
Yeah.
Aren't you afraid? Okay, there are two things that I would be wondering. Isn't it like okay, the ink being, especially in a fountain pen, more prone to kind of like spill out? Isn't that scary? And then the second thing, as far as I remember fountain pens from a school time, they're really easy to kind of like bend. And plus, can't they poke out their eyes with that? I mean, isn't it really?
Poke their eyes out with a lot of different things.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm not too worried just because with my kids specifically, they're not like crazy little demons that are breaking everything, you know? They're just curious. So at least for my kids, like I'm not too worried about, you know, them bending the nibs or anything like that. And as far as the fountain pen goes, I haven't really experienced just spontaneous leaks or anything. Like I think, you know, like the typical sort of like ebbs and flows of having to refill it when it's dry, and then the whole refilling process, you might get some ink on your hands, but other than that, I haven't really noticed anything like crazy happening when it's in the hands or randomly leaking out. Maybe it's the quality of the pen. I don't know. It's been good for me so far.
Okay, but do you kind of prefer? I've read that multiple times that people prefer fountain pens, but what is it about fountain pens for you? Is it just the experience of the pen itself, or does it write better, or does it look better? Or what exactly is it that draws you?
I think it's a combination. For sure. I really enjoy the writing experience, like the way the nibs kind of scratch onto the paper, like it provides that tactile feedback when you're writing. And that's really fun. I really enjoy, I use like a fine nib, so it's not super, super thin. So it provides, for me, it provides dimension when I'm writing, because it's, you know, the wider the nib, it's sort of like a flat head as opposed to a circular point. So when you're thinking like gel pens or ballpoints, it's one single point that the ink comes out of. Whereas with a nib, depending on how much pressure you put on, or depending on what angle you write at, it provides a little more dimension in your lettering and in your handwriting. I really enjoy fountain pen inks as well. I'm using a pair of Pilot inks that just looks really good when you write. And then I think the last point is the paper quality too. For example, if you're writing on printer paper, it's gonna bleed everywhere, so not so great. But I'm using a Leuchtturm notebook, and
those are great.
Right, exactly. And the paper quality is just it's really nice to experience. And when you're writing with the fountain pen and the ink, the right ink, it just meshes really well with the paper. So it's a whole thing. And these mornings, like part of my morning ritual is to journal like every single day.
Cool.
And write down my thoughts, you know, trackers, stuff like that. So it's just been a great kind of welcome piece to my whole overall routine.
Just this question will kind of show my age. So when I was doing a high school year as an exchange student in 1998,
wow,
there was something that me as a German never understood, and they used checks, like those paper checks where you write on. Yeah, right. Instead of like a debit card or whatever. So that was really weird for me. So for that kind of purpose, I understand having a pen. Nowadays, 2025, is anyone still paying with those paper checks? No,
I mean,
right?
I think there will be still people like, you know, old school people who have, I mean, I'm sure like there's all types of people these days. And like, I think like some people are kind of set in their ways and very traditional.
Oh, okay.
And just, you know, prefer a check. But for me personally, I think the number one use for a pen, it's more of like a just in case type of measure. You know, when you go to a restaurant, you pay the bill. Usually you have to sign the check. You have to sign the bill. So even if I pay with my credit card, they'll print out the receipt. So there's that. And I mean, they usually provide a pen for you. So I'm not like, hold on. Let me get my pen. Let me. I mean, it's fine. You know, we have soap, we have water, we have hand sanitizer. So I'm not like I don't know, an easy snob in a way that like, I'm like, I'm not going to use your pen. Let me pull out my pen and do this. It's more of a just in case measure, you know, like randomly my wife would be like, hey, babe, you have a pen? And I'll just pull it out. You know, it's more of like just making sure there's no hiccup in your day. It's just like free flowing, right? Like a big part of EDC is preparedness, right? So you carry the gear that you need on you that'll get you through the day. And, you know, sometimes you'll randomly need a pen in weird situations where you don't have one, or maybe you're at the DMV, you know, like the an office, and they hand you a pen, but it's dead, right? It's dry. Oh, it's cool. I got my own pen. So it just keeps things going smoothly.
Speaking of going smoothly, I assume you also mentioned you have like a keyless entry and stuff like that, and AirTags, and I assume your kids sometimes grab your phone. You probably are in dire need that your phone never dies. Do you also carry like a power bank inside your sling bag?
I do. So right now I currently carry, I mean, it's just it's an Anchor. I think it's a 622.
It's the one with the magnet, right?
Yeah.
That you had in the video.
It's easy. You keep it charged, and then when you need it, just slap it onto the back of your phone and you're all set to go. I think like my life right now is very interesting in that I have a very flexible schedule, so that, you know, I'm able to stay at home for a big part of the day. I work from home. And so I have like easy access to recharging capabilities. And then, you know, my car will have a charger. So it's only when we're planning day trips, like for example, if we're going to Disneyland with the kids, or if we're doing a road trip somewhere where, you know, we'll be indisposed for hours at a time, then I'll make sure I have some sort of power bank ready for not only my devices, but my wife's and, you know, the iPad to keep the kids distracted, stuff like that.
So continuing with now day trips and stuff having with you, that is a question I'm not able to answer, but I have had that question on my comment section so many times. Dad/diaper bag. You just previously mentioned that. What are you using? What's your backpack that you basically use on a, I would assume, daily basis, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, every time we go out. So being an EDC enthusiast, you know, I refuse to use the staple, you know, diaper bag, you know, and I think there's a certain pride that goes into it, especially since, you know, as a creator, I have tons of bags in the studio already. So I'm going to be the last person to go out and buy another bag just for a dedicated purpose. I'm going to, you know, find one that works.
Sure? Did you really
only because I have too many? Yes.
Right.
So currently we're okay to lie on this podcast, right? I'm just kidding. So currently I use the Able Carry Daybreaker as my
That's great. That's a great
yeah. And it's fun because it's big enough to have, so for me a daddy day pack consists of enough provisions for 2 kids, right? And so it has to be a little bigger than, you know, your standard diaper bag for 1 kid. Diapers, wipes, sanitizing stuff, snacks for both kids, toys to distract them when, you know, they get antsy, if they're standing in line, if they're getting impatient. And then just from there, it's just a ton of different things like carabiners to hook the bag onto your stroller so that your hands free, you know, going back into keeping your hands as free as possible to wrangle those kids. And the Able Carry Day Pack has been a really good one for me just because like it's big enough, like I said, for everything, but also it's designed in a sleek way using lightweight materials so that when I do put it on my back, it's
great.
not like, I'm not weighed down by a ton of stuff. And everything's easily accessible. It's like a wraparound zipper that you can access, and it opens up top very widely so that you can, you know, find anything you need to find. And for me, that's what's working right now. As a dad, things change, you know?
Please don't tell me you are a caveman. Are you utilizing packing cubes? Or are you just throwing everything, the diapers, the toys, the cleaning stuff into the bag? Because it's a very simple bag, right? There is no organization. Don't be a caveman. Tell me you have packing cubes, please.
No, I'm happy to report that I do use organization.
Okay, great.
Packing cubes for sure. We also use plastic clear bags with zippers so that we can see what's inside, you know?
Sure.
So that's another thing. And then one thing that unexpectedly has been very, very useful are these like nylon drawstring bags. Like you can get like a 5-pack on Amazon, color coded.
I know those. Yeah.
And, you know, as sort of like an EDC content creator, you're kind of like, like, should I really be just using like super budget?
But they're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheap, it's easy, and it's very, very useful because you can color code things. Like, for example, like my younger child, he has allergies. And so we always bring allergy medicine just in case, right? And so his allergy medicine always lives in this bright green bag that I put. You know, so if in an emergency or something like that he needs his medicine, I can just dig through the bag and pull out that bright green bag. And I know exactly what's in it all the time. And so having, you know, like you said, that organization to make sure there's a dedicated toy bag, dedicated snack bag, it makes life a lot easier as a parent. And
those
then the
are great, those pouches. I know so many producers that utilize those pouches like for money and receipt organization on set. So they know, okay, this comes from that department, this from that. So that was the first time I actually gotten kind of exposed to those. And those are amazing, really good. Yeah. I mean, makes totally sense to utilize those.
Yeah, and that's mainly like preparation, right? Like when you think like EDC gear, you're always thinking like, what's a cool wallet I can carry? What's a cool knife I can carry? But then like a lot of people I feel don't really think of beyond that. Like, what am I using that knife for? How often will I use it? What's a scenario when I will need it? And in that scenario, how will I need to use it? And so a lot of those like secondary thoughts don't really get taken into account. And so when we're planning a daddy day pack, right? It's like, yeah, let me get diapers, let me get wipes, let me get all this stuff and throw it in the bag. But then what? Like, what's a situation where you're going to need that diaper, right? Maybe your kid just had a big blowout and he's dripping poop and the poop is on your arm and you need to make sure you get those wipes out quickly. So where are you going to keep those wipes, right? A quick access pocket, maybe. So, you know, maybe you need a color-coded drawstring bag to pull that thing out so you're not digging through your bag while you're dripping in poop. So there's a lot of contextual things that, you know, I personally think we should take into account when we're planning our loadouts, you know, at home or in the field.
And also the bag is an X-PAC bag, so it's easy to clean off. So I assume if you would take a canvas bag, all of those
I wouldn't do canvas bags for sure. Not for a daddy diaper bag.
No way.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned X-PAC though, because I feel like 2024 last year was like the year of X-PAC where every brand was coming out with X-PAC versions of things. And while that was, you know, a really big boon for a lot of content creators in that, you know, we can talk about an exotic new material X-PAC and it looks really distinct, right? Oh, excuse me. Looks really distinct. And I think the qualities of an X-PAC bag are present in a lot of other materials that we kind of take for granted, like Ripstop fabric, for example, Ripstop nylon, for example. Like that's been around for a while and it's more affordable. It may not be as robust or rigid as X-PAC, but 90% of the time for what we're using it for as like, you know,
it's plenty.
Exactly. It's still weatherproof, abrasion resistant, all that good stuff. So you don't need to spend big bucks for X-PAC if you're trying to look for something just a little more robust that'll help you out on your day-to-day.
Yeah, you're totally correct. But so we just talked about the what it was, diaper. That was the word I was looking for the diaper bag. But Is that your only daily loadout? Do you what else is there? I mean, you're a dad. You're
Hmm.
taking care of your kids,
Yeah.
obviously, but I assume there's some items in there that are for you, right? Or
No, the day pack is for the kids. Just
yeah.
because I want to keep it separate. Just because like for me, I'm like if I put my stuff into the daddy diaper bag, that's one more sort of variable. Like when I need to
Yeah.
go somewhere
Okay.
without the kids, it's like, oh, where's my laptop, charger,
Yeah.
accessory? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
is it in the daddy? So yeah, I don't like to kind of and that's more of an organizational thing. Like I
Mm,
don't like to mix things up. Just like you wouldn't want to throw all different types of things into one bag. It's like you keep
mm,
things separate. For me, primarily, it's the sling. And you're
mm.
probably imagining like, what if you go out to, a coffee shop and do some work? Like that's when I'll pack like
Mhm.
like a tech loadout for, my MacBook and, my accessories and things I need to work or do something separate. That'll go into a separate bag. For my like daily backpack stuff, I really like Air bags.
Mhm.
And so Air City Pack Pro is kind of the main one I use paired with, my sling. I would wear that front slung, wear the backpack on the back, and then that would be more than enough to accommodate, all my tech accessories and things I need to do.
So is that bag always kind of like packed out and then basically next to wherever you keep your bags, and then whenever you go out, be it with the kids or alone, you kind of grab all of the bags, so sling bag,
Mm.
diaper bag, and the tech bag?
Yeah, so
I
the daddy day
Oh
pack is
wow.
always packed out,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the only scenario when I would use it. The computer bag, I actually make it a habit to take everything out because
Mm.
so here's another habit, especially as a content creator in the EDC space. I always make it a habit to unpack every single like sort of like personal bag that I use
Mhm. Yeah,
because,
makes sense.
we have so many bags that we try and rotate that, like, if you don't unpack it, like, things tend to get lost,
Yeah.
and, God forbid you have 20 backpacks in the studio, you use one, and then you leave a crucial, like, memory card or a tech organizer in there, and then you gotta look through 20 different backpacks in order to find that one thing,
Yeah.
so I make
Happened to
sure.
me once.
Oh, did it?
I actually sent a buddy of mine a bag
Mhm.
to give it to him, and he was like, "There's a James Brand knife in this
Oh!
bag." And I'm like, "Crap." Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you can keep it. Totally
Yeah.
forgot
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. So it happens really fast if you don't like very diligent about unpacking stuff. So you're totally right.
Yeah, I mean, I had a scare similar to that. So I make travel loadouts and I film them and stuff, and I'll occasionally, like display, the a passport cover and be like, these are essentials you take when you travel.
Yeah.
And then my passport went missing. I was like,
Oh
oh
no.
no, do I need to dig through? And so I was in the garage dumpster diving, like looking through all the different backpacks, like, did I put it in
Yeah.
here? Did I put it in here? Luckily, it was, my wife found it, in a random drawer in our room. But that just goes to show you, like, if you don't have organization
Yeah.
down, it can be devastating.
I mean, you are now really experienced. And again, I had this question a couple of times on my channel. How, what would be your recommendation to anyone looking for a diaper bag? How should they approach it? Do you have
Mm,
any recommendation where to start? Because I don't know. I would probably know, well, not would, I will probably always now recommend the able carry bag that you mentioned, but
mhm,
do you have some pointers on what people should look out for if they
for
want to
sure.
choose one?
Yeah. I think first, like I mean, in line with sort of my channel mantra, like you live with purpose, right? So you
Hmm.
gotta first figure out like what purpose that bag serves. So whether you have one bag or one kid, two kids, like how often will you be using it? Will be using for a day trip, or will you be using it just for a few hours out?
Yeah.
Just going to the groceries and back. I think figure that out first, and that will dictate how big, like what volume bag you need. And then after that, I think going into ease of access for me. So for the
Mm.
able carry Daybreaker, it's really convenient because it has a very generous like top.
Opening. Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Mm.
and they also have quick access pockets as well. So it was really important to me to be able to access the things I use most frequently quickly. And so the Daybreaker was a great option. On that
Yeah.
note, I would also recommend a very specific bag, the Mystery Ranch Urban Assault, only because they have a very
Wow.
unique Have you seen Mystery Ranch bags?
Yeah, but isn't that like fully like military style?
No, it
No?
sounds very military style, but
Yeah.
it's actually their like like daily like EDC type of bag
Oh no,
before it
I'm
gets
thinking
further down.
about the other ones. Yeah, I'm thinking about with the trifold and the green one and with the
Yeah.
molly all around. Okay,
Right,
no,
right.
yeah,
So the Molly, like, you don't really need unless, that's
no.
how you wanna rock your first aid kits and stuff like that for your kids.
Mm,
But the big thing I wanted to and you mentioned it, is the trifold, and I
mm.
find it's really convenient to be able to access things at the bottom of your bag
Oh
without
yeah,
having
that's
to
true.
dig through the top. So, for
Yeah.
example, like, let's say you organize your for example, the allergy medicine example that I mentioned. So,
Mm,
I don't typically use the allergy medicine because it's only, in case of emergencies. So,
yeah,
one way or another, that bag ends up at the bottom of my, daddy day pack, and
sure.
so, let's say you're in that emergency and you need to access it, having that trifold where you could just unzip vertically the whole bag and just grab the bag from the bottom as opposed to digging your way down and grabbing it, that would make it easier to access. And
Mm.
so, in that line of thought, having a unique bag that can allow you to access, like, top stuff, bottom stuff in the same amount of time, I think is really crucial. So, yeah.
I've just got a random thought in my head.
Mm,
Imagine you need to change the diapers and you don't
mm,
have like a clean surface or something.
mm,
I
mm.
wonder, could you potentially say, okay, there's the ground, put the bag on the ground, open it clamshell style,
Yeah.
and use the lid of the clamshell opening as the place where you put your baby on?
Mm.
Would that be possible?
I think
Just
so.
as, yeah,
I
and
think
then
so,
grab
depending on
everything
the
from
size of
the
your
other
bag
side?
and the size
Yeah.
of your baby, maybe. But so that's a very distinct feature that a lot of, like, specifically diaper bag built bags, are good at. They come
Oh,
with, like,
really?
a surface. Yeah, like, some excuse me, some, like, they unfold. So, like you
Oh,
said, clamshell
interesting.
style, and then there's another flap that opens to make it, big enough to accommodate your child.
Oh, interesting.
Other bags come with a separate sort of like mat that just
Mm,
folds in. So in that regard, regular EDC bags would be at a disadvantage because that's like one more thing you got to buy
yeah.
to put in there separately, or you got to kind of finagle some sort of improvised way of, like you said, opening
Yeah.
the clamshell and just putting the kid on there. But I mean, unless you're going like camping in the wilderness or something specific, I feel like in most cases, like you can stop by, your local wherever it is where you go to the restroom. They
Mm,
have like dedicated,
yeah.
kid changers and stuff like that. So it just depends on your scenario, like
Yeah.
where you
Okay.
find yourself. Yeah.
So I'm kind of hopefully didn't bore you with too many dad questions
Oh,
now.
so boring. Hate talking about being a dad.
So that is why I'm going to ask you now, what has been your favorite, no, not favorite, but piece of EDC or piece of equipment that has been your favorite or most valuable or that has the most use for you?
Hmm, that is a tough question, sir. And I feel like I should have seen that coming. Let's see.
If it's easier, it doesn't have to be EDC related. Just
Sure.
maybe there's something, maybe you bought yourself a Nintendo Switch 2 that you really enjoy
Oh
or
man. Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Let's see. I think the big thing that pops into my mind is a new sling that I'm carrying. So it's also a reform carry sling,
it
but
looks amazing, by the way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah,
It's called the ES01,
yeah.
and it's a minimal sling. I think it's 1.2 liters. But the key feature of that is that the whole opening, the primary opening, is magnetic as well.
Mm,
And so, being that an everyday carry sling is my main mode of carrying my gear, I use that sling a lot. And just in the process of testing it and just getting my impressions on the bag, I just really enjoy having that magnetic clasp. Like I just like pull tab,
interesting.
pull the stuff out, and then it clicks shut. Like I don't have to zip up, zip down, or anything like that. And it's been a real joy to use.
I was actually wondering because I felt the bag and in the video that you made about that bag, it looks really, really good. But I
Mm,
wondered about the practicality of this magnetic opening because yes, it opens easily, but
Mhm.
also it opens fast by yourself. So I wonder if you, I don't know, kind of have the kit here in your hand and then you want to pay for groceries. Isn't it annoying that you grab your wallet, for example, but
Mm.
you kind of fight the magnetic mechanism of it
Yeah,
not closing shut while you try to get out your wallet? Or
sure.
is does it still stay open as long as you don't kind of push it back close?
No, no, it's so one thing I really like about it, and maybe in that specific example you provided, it's sort of a double-edged sword in
Mm.
that the magnetic closure is actually really sturdy. And so once it shuts, it's like it shuts with a good amount of force. So
Mm.
that gives you peace of mind that, your stuff won't fall out when it's on your back or anything like that.
Mm.
But in that scenario, you kind of have to figure out how to use your fingers to like open it and then keep it opened as you
I see.
pull your wallet out. So
Yeah.
it does take a little bit of, practice, I think, using it one-handed, especially since in line with being super minimal, the pull tabs for opening that bag, is very small as well, and
Mm.
I think it's designed that way just to minimize theft and to keep it really streamlined. But,
Yeah.
in that specific example, I would just work on opening it with one hand and, figuring it out from there.
So, for all of you who don't know, Ron is really good at the Kung Fu Death Touch. So his fingers are already really good prepared
Oh,
to
yeah.
kind of keep that, that. No, it's not the Death Touch. It's the 5 finger
It's
something
the,
punch,
it's
right?
the one-inch punch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Ugh. Yeah,
he's really
yeah.
good at that. So having the bag open with that one hand whilst juggling two kids on
Oh,
the
yeah.
other hand, it's really easy for him. For
I mean,
everyone else, it's probably
it
difficult.
helps to be a full-time hand model for my EDC development. So, got a lot
Oh,
of training
that's
there.
how you earn money. I see. So your day is about to start waking up the kids. So my last question to you is what's going on now? What can people be prepared for in the next few weeks on your channel? Anything cool in terms of reviews, type of content that you are currently preparing, that you're looking forward to kind of
For sure.
showcase to the world?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as we all know, it's holiday season, so everyone's gonna be ramping up with their breakdowns, their gifting, and stuff like that. So we've got a lot of content kind of lined up for, budget breakdowns, premiumly priced breakdowns, things that you would want to buy for yourself as well as for your loved ones and family. As for me on the channel, like, I'm always working on finding new stuff to kind of showcase, to bring to the community that I personally enjoy using. And I'm also working on the productivity side as well because, it's becoming more and more apparent to me as a parent that it's not just about the gear, it's how you prepare for the day, it's how you organize your bags to kind of reduce the amount of hiccups that you have and reduce friction on your
Mm,
daily routine. And so I've been, working on productivity habits like, journaling every day, making sure I'm in the right mindset, and as well as, daily trackers, packing lists. So
mm.
I'm working actually on a project to get some of these things out into the world, especially for my community and yours as well, Bo, if you're interested. But just like things that'll help, you know, you get through the day more easily. Like in the morning, if
Mm.
you're about to go out, have a
Yeah, yeah.
packing list ready for your daddy day bag so you're not forgetting something important, and to just get consistent with planning your rotation,
Mm.
on a weekly basis to identify, do I really use this a lot? How
Yeah,
many
yeah.
days out of the week did I use it? Did I just use it the one time? Maybe it's time to rotate. Things like that.
I was always wondering, especially considering the name of your channel, have you ever considered like kind of venturing out or adding on top of the, let's say, product based type of content to do something like, I don't know, like in this life kind of minimalist or, as you say, purpose living um, kind of topics? Have you ever considered that?
I have, definitely, and I think, like, I've experimented with that a few times over the years, because
Mm,
I'm definitely not just like a product review channel, like,
mm,
because, for me, it's more I am by no means, like, a bag expert or a gear expert. I consider more I'm just, like, an everyday dude, just getting through
mm.
life, doing my own thing, and these are the gears or the types of things that I like to keep around me because I like XYZ about them, and it helps
Yeah.
me in a certain way. And so it's more about providing like a frame of reference or a point of
Yeah.
view. And so definitely like I've always wanted to do more vlogging, and that's something I've identified that I need to get better at and want to do more frequently on the channel.
Mm.
And I know you've been experimenting with vlogging too, so I'd love to hear, how your vlogging journey has been going, but that's definitely something that I want to work a little more on and providing a window into my life, like
Mm.
lifestyle wise.
Yeah, I feel like vlogging for me, I'm at episode 156 of
Man.
daily vlogging. And it's definitely not something that I can see being successful, but
Uh-huh.
it's in terms of numbers, right? In terms of
Sure.
views and stuff like that. But in terms of personal growth, it was
Mm.
really, for me, it's like it has become, instead of journaling into a book, it has become something where I kind of journal, not necessarily journaling in terms of my private stuff, but rather, oh, I have all of these creative things, not creative, but these topics in my head that I
Yeah.
kind of want to talk about. And
Mhm.
instead of them lingering in my head, I'm able to kind of push them into a video file, and then some
Yeah.
people enjoy it and some people don't. And it has been really, for the lack of a better word, freeing and liberating for my head.
Oh, I love to
Be-
hear that, man.
yeah, because you and I, we are creators. We always think about videos, but usually we aren't able to make all of those videos, right? So
Sure.
those
Yeah.
thoughts are always in our brain, and they kind
Mhm.
of, for the lack of a better word, weigh us down because
Mm.
they are they're stuck in our head.
Yeah.
And now I found a way to just not necessarily kind of make those ideas into a realization or into something real, but rather, okay, I cannot make that video, but I can talk about it
Yeah.
in the
For sure.
one take vlog, and then I push it out, and then it's off my head, and it's kind of freeing in a way.
Absolutely.
And also, the brain is a muscle. So
Mhm.
basically, I go to bed, I think about, okay, what is a topic that I want to talk about tomorrow? Okay, that's
Mhm.
it. All right, and then I push it out into a video file. So I can highly recommend it. It's, again, it's nothing where I can say that will be a great YouTube channel, but it's mentally, it's really cool.
I think that's very important, what you touched
Mm,
on. Like, as
yeah,
a creative, you gotta do stuff for yourself as well, because I
yeah,
think, like, especially when you get into the mindset of growing a YouTube channel, like, if you tend to get lost in the numbers a lot and
yeah,
success and
exactly.
failure. Yeah,
Yeah,
and what that looks like, and that's all very heavy, after a
yeah,
while, and burnout is a real thing. I've
yeah,
experienced burnout in the past where it's just
yeah.
like
Same.
super zoned in on like I gotta make the next hot video, the next
Yeah.
like viral EDC video, and I get too lost in that, and then it just spirals downwards. Because then like let's say
Mm.
you put out a video, it doesn't do as well, and you're like, what did I do wrong? Like how can I like get people to click more, and then you start getting susceptible
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
like trendy
Yeah.
hooks and stuff like that. But I think putting that all aside once in a while is very important. Just getting into the freeing and liberating process of just creating and flowing with what you want to make. And all the intricacies of like, oh, vlogs don't do as well as other videos. Sure they do. Like it just depends on who's doing it and how they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
So you could just figure out how then to kind of like stitch together the pieces. Like, you're vlogging
Sure.
and you're doing something that really touches your heart and what you want to do, and it makes you fulfilled and happy. Then you think on this side, okay, what would your community like to see, and what would
Mm.
new viewers to your channel like to see? And so then you start bridging that gap. Like let's say you're talking about everyday carry, but then you can stitch it and say, okay, what are some everyday carry tips that would help
Yeah. Yeah.
improve the regular carry, the regular person that can do this and that? So then you convey that in the vlogging format. You still get
Yeah.
that liberating,
Exactly.
freeing
Yeah.
feeling, but you still make it, like, useful for
Mm.
your viewers, new and existing alike.
I mean, that's basically what most of the camera guys or those kick streamers and like that, they basically also do, or
Mm.
not kick streamers, those streamers who also have a YouTube channel. And also I'm thinking about people like Jayhawk or Big E, not sure if you know
Jayhawk
them.
is cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
So
watching him a
I
lot.
mean, yeah, I mean, he does those types of vlogs, right? That
Mhm.
are in a way
Day
like
in the life.
that. But yeah, and I think you could do that, especially with your everyday carry stuff. And that I've just not haven't been able to kind of develop the vlogs in a more like complicated way. So
Mhm.
because I wasn't able to fit that into my life. And
Sure.
also I don't want to kind of interrupt those moments. So I opted to do these. Okay, I'm just going to switch, push record, talk, not edit, and then basically just color grade it and upload the video.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
It's iterative, dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you
fun.
gotta, yeah, for sure. And I think like keep it that way for now. Like when you're vlogging, like whatever like fills your cup, like just do that vlog however you like. And then
Exactly.
once you get that down, once that's like second nature, like oh, I'm hitting this new square, like let's just vlog and see what comes of it. I'm hitting this part, let's
Exactly.
vlog and see what comes of it. Once you're good at that and just like it's not even something to think about, then you can say, okay, like I want to make this more enticing for my viewers. Like how do I frame it in a different way and talk about a topic that resonates with them instead of just whatever's on your mind? And then you can start like it's tough because like a lot of vlogs are fake in a way that like you're scene establishing shots, right? You know, that just doesn't happen just like this. Like you gotta show up, see where the light is, and then you gotta exit, put the camera down, and then come back in as if you're going there for the first time, right?
And do it at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so I totally understand it's interrupting the moment, or it's not real, or it's not raw, but you know, like you're telling a story is what you're doing. Like it's not a vlog isn't like this has to be the first and only take, or it's not real and I'm not gonna watch it. You're telling a story, and those scene establishing shots in the vlog help tell that story, and that's it. There's no real or fake, or it's just the canvas that you're painting. That's all.
Exactly. Man, I really enjoy talking to you. I think we shouldn't leave another 2 years in between. So let's do that again in the future. And before you go and start your day, again, everyone like and go to Ron's channel and subscribe to him just for him being here this early. Where can people find you?
Mainly youtube.com/Ron Kwok. That's KWOK. And yeah, that's where you'll find me, EDC videos. I also have an Instagram at Live With Purpose EDC. But either of the two, that's where you'll find me. And you'll occasionally find me in Bo's comments, lighting him up on why he's wearing mismatched socks.
Those weren't mismatched. Those were on purpose. I bought them this way. It was probably a production error. And I'm like, yeah, those are supposed to be like that. Anyways, thank you so much for taking the time, and everyone follow Ron on YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, again, thank you so much and have a great day.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks for having me on the channel. Take care, you guys. Good seeing you guys.
See you in the next podcast. Thank you very much.